Welcome back to everyone to another episode of Think Outside the Box Office. We are kickstarting our 4 weeks of Christmas, and our first pick is going to be the 2015 horror fantasy blend Krampus, the Michael Dougherty film. Uh, this this was my first time watching this movie. I did get a second viewing in before we recorded today. Um, what'd you guys think of this movie?
I'll go first, Derek. I'm going to say
Good.
out the gate, I really enjoyed this one.
Okay.
I didn't have my doubts, but I was like, Christmas horror is not really one that I like lean into, right? If I watch a Christmas movie, I want it to be kind of something Christmassy. If I watch a horror movie, I definitely don't want Christmas there. But this was cool. This was fun. Uh, I don't know if this was ever even on my radar to watch. Like I knew it existed, but I was like, once it got suggested for this, I was like, cool, perfect. Never seen it. Yeah, I really like this one, man. Derek, what about you?
Eh, I liked it. It wasn't too terrible. It had some pretty good moments, I guess, but like overall, it was all right. I didn't mind it. As a Christmas movie though, like it definitely is really heavy on like the whole Krampus lore and everything, which I thought was really interesting. But as like horror movies, like Christmas horror movies, it's all right. Like there's some other ones I'd much rather watch than this one for sure. Um, but I didn't mind it.
Cool.
I actually have not seen when we talk about Christmas horror. I've actually not seen a lot of Christmas horror. I think I've seen one of the Black Christmas ones. The one that came out in the 2000s. I think one time. Uh, Chris, I'm gonna double down on your saying there. I also when I watch a Christmas movie, I want it to be festive. Even though my bitch with Christmas movies is that the theme is all the same, right? Like family and gifts, and it's about giving and not being a selfish prick, and so like the theme, right, like dries up after a while. But uh, I was also kind of when we decided this movie, I was like, that's the one we decided. Okay. But I will say the things I liked, I really liked. The things I didn't, I really didn't. So this ends up kind of riding like middle of the line for me. But I like Christmas in general. I don't know about you guys. I
Oh,
like Christmas
excuse me.
music. I'm okay with it playing the day after Thanksgiving. I don't. I'm fine with that. I know people
Sure.
that are like, nope, week of Christmas. And that's it. I'm okay putting the tree up, after Thanksgiving. It's kind of what we always did growing up. We have our tree up right now. Our cat just doesn't let us decorate it. Thanks. But, so I'm fine with all that. So as a Christmas movie, it's not my favorite. But it did beat my expectation, I think, a little bit. And
Same.
we'll crack into that. Michael Dougherty, Dougherty, Dougherty takes this
Doherty.
film.
Yeah, whatever.
I did not know that. I'm a big fan of his other two feature films, which I think Derek turned us on to with Trick or Treat, his first one,
Yeah,
and
I remember
then
that.
Godzilla King of the Monsters. I really like that. That's one of my favorites out of the new legendary stuff. So I was surprised to see him helming this. I think he's like an old like writing partner of Bryan Singer's. You guys
He
remember?
is.
I think he's
Yeah.
got a couple of stuff with him, so that was kind of cool. Um,
I think he did
cool.
several of those Fox's X-Men films back in the day.
Yeah, I think
So
you're
I
right.
think some of the good and maybe some of the bad. So, I think he had his hands on a few of them.
Nice. Little hodgepodge.
Look, as long as he
I
didn't do
mean,
like The Last Stand or uh whatever the Dark Phoenix,
yeah,
because there's
yeah,
two,
right.
you know,
I think I think maybe he did 1, 2, and then like maybe
I
Days
think
of Future Past and Apocalypse or something.
yeah, for sure at least three of those. I'm not sure about Days of
Yeah.
Future Past, but it is a Bryan Singer film, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, right,
Um,
sure.
so that's cool. I'm fine with that. We get a we get an interesting cast, couple of names and then a couple of character actors. Are you guys fans of Toni Collette? She's kind of like a horror
Yeah.
godmother at this point.
Tony Collette's awesome. I think when we did Mickey 17, I think all three of us, me, Tyler, and Chris,
Oh,
gave her a lot of praise. She's very versatile, right? She does a lot of like cool, just a wide variety of shit, and I think she's awesome in everything. She's super underrated and when I see her name in a movie, I'm like, okay, chances of me watching that just went up. And then what?
Yep.
She's married to Adam Scott in the movie, right? That's
Yeah,
his name?
Adam
Yeah.
Scott in the movie. Yeah.
Adam Scott. Yeah. I mean, can't go wrong with him either. Like, I think he's always fun. You know, he's big on Parks and Recs. I think he's on that Apple show Severance. Is that what
Yeah,
that
you're right.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on that. He's in a ton of movies, right? He pops up in a bunch of different shit. I think everyone mostly sees him from Step Brothers. He's like the dickhead,
Older
uh,
brother Derek, right?
older brother to Wilt Ferrell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you got what David is it David Keckner, who
Yeah.
he's
Keckner, I think. Yeah.
from like Anchorman and like all the silly ass comedies, who pretty much just plays David Keckner in all of his movies.
Plays
Like
the
he's the
same
same
thing and
guy
everything. Yeah, like
and everything.
big, loud, angry guy or whatever.
Right. He's always like putting down like whoever he's co-starring with, like calls him names. I will say when I see his name on a movie, I'm kind of like, like it could go either way. Um, but yeah, like I mean, he definitely added to it, and he was fun. The chick he's married to, Allison Tolman, Tony Collette's sister in the movie, right? Their family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, have you
Linda.
guys seen her before? I think she's on some TV stuff. I think she
I
does
was
a lot
gonna
of
say, I
TV.
think I've seen her like maybe on some sitcoms or something, but
Yeah, sitcoms.
nothing in film. But
I think she's on some new show on Peacock or something called St. Dennis Medical, where it's kind of like The Office, where like a
Okay.
camera crew follows the hospital around or something like that. Yeah,
yeah,
so I've definitely seen the big four adults in this movie. Well, I guess five if you count Aunt Dorothy. She on
2.5
what's that
Men.
Charlie 2.5 Men. There you go.
Yeah,
And she kind of plays the
Oh.
same character here too, right? Like,
pretty much. I think she's like
yeah,
stereotypical character in everything she's in. She just has that attitude with her everywhere she goes.
yeah, yeah, she does. Uh, so the main five are like recognizable faces I think people have seen, and yeah, you don't need the biggest name draw in this movie, but yeah, it's a cool cast, you know.
I was just gonna say like Tony Collette was good, Adam Scott was good, and even for the most part, like the kids were pretty all right. Like for kids being like kind of like scared and dealing with a bunch of like weird shit, they did all right. They did fair enough. And then you have old granny in the back just being like speaking old German, just being more or less like
She's really not
the
helpful.
shadow of the looming of doom. Yeah, not helpful, but like not until like half that family's gone. Then she's like, "Oh, let me tell you the story of Krampus and what's
I mean,
going on here." Oh,
even when shit is going down, there's like the Christmas tree gets on fire. She doesn't lift a fucking finger. She doesn't help.
nope.
Like she is fucking useless other than like lore and exposition in that bit. She speaks perfect English, by the way, relaying that story,
Yeah,
and then just talks in her native accent or whatever native language the remainder and going forward. So it's like she's like antisocial or something. By like, I guess the best way to be antisocial would just be to nope, I don't speak English. Not going to deal
yeah.
with my daughter-in-law's family staying at the house or whatever. What is Krampus about, Derek?
So Krampus, I believe, is a German folklore tale of predates Christianity, and it goes back to kind of the old Saint Nick coming to town, giving the good children and good people like gifts and fortune when they are good. And he has a traveling companion with him. Goes by a demon named Krampus, and basically anybody that's not good and is bad, instead of getting a lump of coal, they get to deal with Krampus, and Krampus deals with them in the most, not so awesome fashion. He has a birch stick, which is like kind of like for whipping. So he'll grab you, whip you with it, throw you in the sack, and haul your ass away. And it's it's interesting. It's kind of like the Baba Yaga in a sense, for like if you're not good, like it's gonna take you. So it's interesting folklore. I think it's awesome. But like in this movie, we get to see it kind of come to life in like a unique way. So that's cool. But yeah, Krampus is this one. He's like the polar opposite of old Saint Nick. He's just he's a bad shady Santa.
So like that's weird. Like so when did I wonder when the change came from having Santa accompanied with Krampus for the bad kids instead of just Santa just does everything where he's leaving coal, he's leaving presents. Because I think we've talked about this before in every movie where there's Santa, you never really see that side of him giving coal. Like, I don't know that I can
Yeah,
think of one movie where Santa actually dishes out coal. Where the fuck would he carry it? Does he just pull that out of his bag too? Does he have just like a little
a cold
like a
shoot in the
coal
bag.
like a coal storage unit in his sleigh just like whips in or something? I don't know. But that is weird that it goes from a good and a bad dude traveling together, divvying up the goods or the bads, and then just Santa delivers, whatever.
Well, I guess in I get maybe it's Germany and Austria where the lore birthed or whatever. I guess they have something called Krampus runs where
Yeah,
the men dress as Krampuses and like parade around town and scare children.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
isn't that wild? Like my kids would
That's
shit
so
themselves.
cool.
My kids
I
would
think
yeah,
America
absolutely
could learn
shit.
a few things. So, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, maybe we're too giving around
It's
here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. There we go.
have a few
Teach
parades
the
go.
kids a lesson.
Uh,
This is
Nick, take us into the plot here, Nick.
yeah. So we open up with some classic Bing. I think Bing Crosby sing one of his jams. We get
Was
the
it Bing?
what
It was Bing,
isn't it?
yeah, yeah, it's Bing
What?
You
Crosby.
know, I do like Bing Crosby, even though I guess he was kind of a shitty dude in real life. But him and Dean Martin kind of like, all those old Christmas fucking songs all sound the same sometimes. So I think it's Bing.
Yeah,
I think we get him a few times actually. And I like all that music. I kind of mentioned that earlier. But we open up with him singing us to what looks to be like I would say Black Friday, but I guess it's like a Christmas Black Friday deal. Of everyone,
Right.
yeah,
like it's probably not Thanksgiving related, but it's think like that, right? Where everyone's like storming the store, they're killing each other for all these like gifts and shit. And then it segues into the uh
It's like a
school
pageant or something.
school Christmas play or pageant or whatever. And the son to Adam and Tony, their names are Tom and Sarah, their son Max is slugging it out with Jesus in the play, the kid who plays Jesus, right?
Uh, Maybe,
no.
yeah.
Well, Jesus is being born. It can't be Jesus.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well,
Maybe
either
it was
way,
maybe it was
It,
like one of the
I think it
wise
was one of
men or
the
something.
wise men's. Yeah,
it was one wise
he's.
men is taking on Max, who is a
I
Some
think
kind
he's
of
a shepherd.
okay. All
what'd you
right.
say?
Maybe he's like Joseph or something.
There's some there's
Okay.
some there's some shit going down in the nativity scene,
Yeah,
right there on stage, which is something that my parents would have whipped our asses for if we had shown
Oh
out like
man,
that.
dude.
oh, dude.
100%. Like
Yeah,
when I watched that, knowing we were going to record, I just imagined all three of us getting beat up by our parents afterwards for showing out on stage
dude.
in school
Not
in
even
front of people.
afterwards.
Yeah, during
We would have had
they
so
would
those
add
lumps of
to the
coal.
show. Like,
We would have absolutely got lumps of coal shoved up our asses for Christmas. Uh, like 100%.
Mom, dude,
Every
most
mom and
definitely.
dad would have they would have beat our ass right there. Like they would have
in
pulled
front of
us.
them.
They would have pulled that kid off us, pulled us up, and then they would have like took turns beating the shit out of us, and then like looked at the audience and been like, "No, do you fucking judge?" Right?
Yeah.
Like they were no holds bars. So,
I just saw
but like,
a Derek's mom throwing a toaster at Derek if that was him acting out on stage. Like
Oh,
yeah,
pretty
for
much.
real.
Yeah, she'd be
100%.
wrangling people, like and getting people away, snatching them up like a lasso, getting them out.
Use
It's
those like wise men shepherding hooks to like wring us by the neck and drag us out
Dude,
for sure.
yeah, just
But
get us
like
100%.
going.
Tony Collette and Adam Scott, like yeah, they like had to like drag him out of there, but they were pretty chill about it. Like
Their
Yeah.
yeah, their parenting is kind of, I don't want to say non-existent because it is there. It's just it's lax, maybe.
very lax.
Very.
So
Like they address the issue, but like surface level, and then they're just like, okay, so don't do that again, right? All right, he
yeah,
learned his lesson, hun. He's fine. Yeah, don't let him. Don't worry about that. And it's like, what? No, that kid got away unscathed.
yeah,
I'd
and
still have black eyes.
they're still they're like really chill about the whole moment. They just like come back and they're just like, man, honey, why did you why did you pick a fight with somebody who was bigger than you? That's like their takeaway, and it's like this kid
Yeah.
started a fight like in the middle of like a crowd of people. Like everybody saw this. Like how embarrassing is that? and they're just like, maybe you should have done that. And you find out from the kid the reason why he did it is because the other actor, I guess, the other kid, during the play or the set, like said something about how Santa's not real, and it struck a chord with the kid who's very, I guess, prideful about Christmas, or loves Christmas, is so dear to his heart that he's willing to instill violence because of it. So he fought back, and even his parents don't have like the heart to kind of like tell him about it. So he is kind of like, I did this because like he said this and that, about Santa and Christmas, and I just couldn't stand for it. And they're like, oh, that's nice, honey, just don't do it again. And I isn't it like his I guess they would be his cousins, right? Who
Yeah.
kind of like get him, that rub him the wrong way at the table, that makes him snap.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get back to their house. Does Omi live with them? Is that the case? Does she, or is she just
Yeah, that's
visiting,
how
or are they at her house, or like where
Yeah, I think she kind of lives
Omi
there.
she lives? There.
Sorry. Omi is Adam Scott's mom. And I
Right.
assume she lives with them.
She lives with them.
And it's either the 23rd or 24th of Christmas. I can't tell.
I think it's the 23rd. No.
Well,
I think it's the 23rd
did they
because
say
the kid peels back the 24th sticker later on in the movie. Like, I think it's a 3-day thing. Like,
yeah, I think
23rd,
so too.
24th, 25th.
He mentions
Oh yeah,
after
well,
the
I guess
dinner
they
scene,
do have daylight.
after the
Yeah.
dinner scene, yeah, he's like, you only got to deal with them for 3 more days. But yeah,
Okay,
so
you're right.
they get back to the house, pseudo discipline Max, but like not really. You find out Max has like a hair trigger for people shitting on the reality of Christmas. And we are introduced to Tony Collette's sister and aunt and husband and family. And they come over to stay at this also very big fucking house. Like almost
Dude,
almost
It
Home
doesn't
Alone
look
style.
it, but it is.
Home Alone was my first thought. Even from the outside, I was like, this looks like Home Alone's house. Like,
I thought it was. I was waiting to read that in like the trivia. I don't think that it is because I think that house is actually in Chicago. Um, but and even though so like Derek, you're like, yeah, it doesn't look it, but it is. So it is from the outside, but the movie sucks at like exploring this house. And
Yeah.
it actually pisses me off later when they're all just like hanging out in the family room the whole time. Nobody goes upstairs until the girls do. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of that house that I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Y'all don't even have to be around each other. This house is so big, and y'all choose to be in each other's company and bicker and fight and piss each other off. And it's there that we meet David Koechner. His name is Howard. His wife Linda. They're 4 kids. There's Howie
Yeah.
Jr. There's the 2
there's the
twin
twin girls.
twin sisters. And I'm not gonna lie, I knew one was a girl. I thought one was a dude. So when they're going through Max's like note and says something about how Uncle Howie wished he had boys or whatever, I was like, isn't one of them a boy? It's not. Nope. So I felt really bad about that. One of the sisters, the girl who plays Stevie, is actually the girl who plays Beth's real life sister. So the actress who plays Beth is Stefania Owen, and then her sister playing Stevie is Lolo Owen. Lolo. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. So that's interesting. So that's kind of cool. She had to be in there with her real life sister. And it doesn't matter because Beth disappears here in the next 5 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a fourth kid, right? What's the baby's name?
The 4th kid is Chrissy.
Is that it? Did they
and
say a
we're-
name?
I think so, yeah, because when the family shows up, right, like they're shitty right off the bat. They're like bitching. Aunt Dorothy is just like, oh fuck, like just moping and griping the whole time. You find out Howard is, I'll probably say like Republican, like judging from some dialogue we get later.
He tries to be
Adam
very
Scott.
alpha male about a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very like redneck and like guns everywhere and all this sorts of shit. Adam Scott, they get everybody in. He's like, hey, isn't there like another kid? And they're like, oh, the baby Chrissy, go get it. And he's like, oh shit, and gotta go. Him and Adam Scott go back out there to get the baby and the girl crap, as he says. Bringing all that in. So we get that whole
They
thing.
left
And they
the
bring
baby.
dog.
Yeah, they like left the baby. They brought in the dog Rosie. And I think like doesn't Aunt Dorothy like show up like kind of like, hey, I'm here, and they're like, ah shit, like we're stuck with her
She
kind
Yeah.
of thing.
she showed up at Linda and Howard's house, and they were like, Tony Collette was like, "Whoa, why'd you bring her?" And she was like, "Well, she just showed up. I can't just leave her there." And she's like, "Well, you could have like called or text, like
Yeah.
communication goes a long way." But yeah, it's out the gate, like you said. So automatically they forget the baby. They bring their dog, which I like. I don't really care for when people just bring pets over unannounced, much less when they're announced. Like, I'm like, dude, I've got 3 dogs of my own. Like, I don't want more animals here. Like, I really don't want to do that much cleanup. So, like, an uninvited dog, and then the uninvited aunt that seems like she can be hit or miss. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be pissed at this point. Like, knowing I got to spend 3 days with a family that already was like meh, and then they brought extra things to be meh about. So I'd be pissed.
100%. Yeah, she was justified in feeling like that, and it just we get to dinner, and it immediately goes into like suck fest real fast. It's like the typical family who hates each other. They just like the invited family is just like dogging on like the meal, which actually looks really awesome. Uh,
For real.
the conversation turned like how he's like ribbing Adam Scott's character Tom about like you weren't you like in the Marines or the Army? And he's like, no, I was an Eagle Scout. And he's like, oh yeah, aren't they kind of pussies? Like,
Yeah.
like, like if you do like arts and crafts and stuff. So he's just like dogging him the whole time. Howie Jr. is just like stuffing his face. I don't even know if he's got dialogue. He just eats the whole time. Which ends up
She's
being
kind of a
his
mouth
like
breather, yeah.
his yeah, kind of ends up
Mouth
being his
breather.
undoing.
Yeah.
Uh, things go south. Things pile on for Max, right? So like the daughters of
The twins, yeah.
Howard and Linda get his Christmas note. Also, is this kid a little too old to be believing in Christmas? Be believing in Christmas?
See, I
Like,
couldn't pinpoint his age. I couldn't tell if he was
I couldn't either.
an older actor trying to act young or if he was a young actor trying to act old. Like I couldn't tell like what age this kid was supposed to be. Was he double digits?
You
Ooh,
got to be
man.
close,
Because
right?
like
Like
I was gonna say
he's
like
very
10 maybe,
articulate.
but 10
I
at
was
the least,
thinking
but I don't think more than like maybe 13.
I was thinking they
But
were aiming for like between 9 and 11 when really the kid was maybe like, I don't know. I could be wrong. I would have said 13-ish.
yeah,
Because
but
Beth is what, 16, 17? So I think she said one of them said she's 17 or something, right? Like,
I don't even think.
And
I
they were
mean,
okay.
she doesn't even look 17.
no, and maybe I'm wrong. I thought one of them said something like, well, she's 17, she can handle her own or
Or maybe
whatever.
she could drive or something. I don't know. But
Yeah, I
like,
don't know. Either way,
even if
yeah,
she's
I was
16,
like, I
like,
think this kid's
yeah,
a little older to believe in Christmas or believe in
I think
Santa,
at
I
that
guess.
point, so not to be like the guy who ruined Christmas, but like, were you guys at like a young age when you found out? Like,
I think we were fairly young when
or
we,
figured it
I don't
out
know
or
how
whatever
we,
the case?
I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you exactly when. I think I was fairly young before I realized, like, I mean, come on, any kid can just put the pieces together. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's not
Like,
hard once. I mean, kids are smart. You pick things up, you put it together.
I
yeah,
don't
like, I think we're fairly young.
I don't remember a specific moment of like being
No.
shattered at the realization. You know what I mean? So it had to be
No.
something that I was able to kind of clue together. Um, Nobody had to have like a sit down with us and be like, "Boys, here's where we're at." You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I probably was able to piece together the writing from Santa that looks exactly the same as to Nick. Like from Mom. Like
For sure.
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah,
not a fucking idiot. So Max, so Max, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, is like very into that idea. He's like having a hard time letting it go. Like I said, he lets it just work him over every chance it gets.
yeah.
That night, he he has some conversations with Omi, who hasn't like revealed anything yet. She's just kind of like, yeah, Christmas is what you make it. I think it's like all the themes, right? Like that's in the heart, and and he has a conversation with Dad about like, hey man, like Christmas is that time where you gotta be around the family you don't like. You gotta,
Yeah.
it's about trying a little harder, even if it sucks. and Max is just like, fuck that. Rips up his rips up his Christmas note. His handwriting also looks to be like a 10-year-old. Rips up his Christmas note
True.
and throws it to the
Practically in
wind.
crime.
So is the Christmas note to the wind? Is that the wish? Because we don't ever hear him outright be like, "Fuck this family." I know he says like, "I hate you and I hate Christmas," but is it like, is the note the final? Like hey, like Krampus seen that shit and he was like, "Here I come."
Well, and maybe because he'll so that's like his first negative thought throughout Christmas is like, "Fuck this," tears up his note, tosses it into the wind, and then even later on with the grandma story that we don't got to dive into too much right now, but like her thing, she just was just like thinking it to herself. She didn't write nothing and toss it to the wind, right? Like, wasn't she just like, "Oh man, I
Yeah,
wish
you're
everyone in
right.
my town would like be nicer," and then she has her own Krampus story. So I don't really know how he gets like summoned other than just
So
like he has like a sense of like, well, there's a family I'm gonna fuck up this year. Well, not even just them, like I'm gonna fuck up their whole fucking neighborhood. Like, I don't know
We're
why
gonna
everyone
get
else
to that.
deserved it. Yeah.
We're gonna get to that
so
because I'm gonna pick on that too.
for what I was to understand, at least from the movie's perspective or, lore point or whatever, it sounds like whenever someone or everyone's Christmas spirit is like broken, like that's when you're like eligible to get snatched up by Krampus because
You
they make
He
it
qualify.
met the
sound like
requirements.
d- eh, because like so the grandma has her story. She tells it and she talks about how like everybody was like suffering and everybody was like, not being able to do certain things. And it was not a very good time. Like it wasn't, peace on earth. There was no hope. There was, it was pretty bleak. It was pretty bad, pretty sad, all the above. And it sounded like it just took her breaking her Christmas spirit to more or less like invite him in because that's the same thing that happened to Max. Max was like the one holding on because all the parents and shit aren't really like go ho
Good
Christmas.
parents.
They're just like, yeah, they're just like, Christmas, another holiday. Uh, and also, I don't know what it is about holidays and fucking dinners, but everybody needs to chill the hell out and just stuff their face. Like, I don't know why everybody needs to be so hostile with these damn
Right.
things. Like that Thanksgiving, I don't get it. But so Max basically, when he shredded up that letter and he threw it out the window, that was him inviting Krampus because he broke his Christmas spirit or gave up on his Christmas spirit and was like, fuck Christmas. So that's what made Krampus like show up. So that's the only way I can like kind of break it down. That's what I took away, but it's a stretch.
He shows up fast too, man. He's
Yeah, he
quick.
does.
Dude.
Brings up like a cloud and everything.
He's like he's like the Night King, dude. He brought the whole fucking winter. Like
He
Dude,
really did.
yeah.
he literally like winter is coming. He brought it all, the whole fucking thing. And like I said, it encompasses. There's like a dark cloud over the house, but like it encompasses the neighborhood, like the town. I don't know
I
how
almost
far
want to
this
say the
reach went.
town at the point.
Yeah, for real.
Because they like later
This
on they
is
make it like further past certain places and it's just still like fucking winter wonderland.
this is one of my complaints about the film, right? So, and I think it was Chris talking a minute ago that like maybe put it together. So if I'm a neighbor, and in grandma's time as a kid, if I'm anybody in that town, if my fate is tied to some fucking asshole who I don't even know, if my fate is tied to some other kid, his belief in Christmas, and I get punished for it, that makes no sense. So like Krampus shows up and wipes out her whole town, grandma's whole town or whatever. What wouldn't that be like in the news? Like what was the news reporting the next day when they were like, "Hey, so this little village is like gone." You know what I mean? Like that would be like news. And I know we don't get to get there with the main focus of the story, like their family, because of the ending. And like I said, we'll get there. But like if I'm like chilling on like celebrating my Christmas and to find out the neighbor, like Derek, so Beth's boyfriend or whatever, 4 blocks away, and he pays the price for my girlfriend's little brother like having doubts because he can't face reality. Like that made no sense to me that he punishes the whole block. It's like a cool effect, but like the idea of it like is super irritating that I'm getting punished for some other kids. Uh, like I don't know, that bit makes no sense to me.
No, I
There's
agree.
plenty of people who don't believe in Christmas or whatever. And
Yeah.
like Krampus just picks and chooses who he wants to go fuck
For
with when
real.
that happens. That makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Does he only go for kids? Like just because the grandma Omi was a kid, Max is a kid, and I know that's like the only two like firsthand accounts you get in this movie. But like, does he like go for adults? Because I'm pretty sure there's lots of fucking Scrooges in the world that like, Krampus could like take to the underbelly or like whatever. I don't,
Yeah. And what about people who don't celebrate Christmas? Like not out of like choice, but out of like religious. You know what I mean? Like there's parts of the world that's not, because it's a Christian thing or whatever. What? So is
they
he
get a
just
free
like, I can't
pass.
fuck with them? Yeah. He's like,
Yeah,
they're off.
they're like
I
off
can't touch them.
limits.
He gives a call into that respected religious
For
God and
real.
just be like, hey, can you one of your own is needs to be punished. So
It's out of my
Like the Krampus of
jurisdiction.
that religion.
yeah.
Huh.
Jesus.
One of your flock hates Christmas. Go fucking sort them out. Yeah.
So it's like you said, Chris. So the storm rolls in the next day, which I assume is Christmas Eve. Um,
I thought it was that night. And
well, I
then
mean,
Beth goes
like,
out the
so the
Oh, you're
next
right.
day
Okay.
though. Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
so
next day,
Beth
I
goes
think
out
it's
the next
Christmas
day.
Eve. Beth,
Which
this storm is like raging, by the way. It knocks out all
yeah,
power, radio, and even cell phones. Um, and Beth is like, I gotta go see Derek. He's only 4 blocks away. I can do some recon. And Tony Collette's like, that's not happening. And Dad's like, yeah. So like, no,
Yeah.
you can't even see like out like across. He's like, I can't see across the street clearly, but I can go talk to the Turners if you want. And then like green lights the daughter to go 4 blocks away through the biggest storm of the century blizzard I've ever seen in my life. Uh, that's the first.
I thought
That's
it
the
was
first
weird.
fault. Our parents would be like, no, lock your asses in here. Go hang out by the fire or whatever. That would not
Yeah,
be happening.
they'd be yeah, you survived 17 years without that girlfriend. What's another day? Okay. So
Yeah.
you'll be
Right.
fine, And that's just bad parenting on their part. Like I was like, what the fuck? Why would you seriously? Well, see, this is the part where I thought the dad was like, well, she's 17, so whatever. But maybe he didn't say an age. But either way,
Maybe
bad
she's
parenting.
almost 17. I don't know. Like
If he didn't say it that way, it was the same principle where he's just like, you don't worry so much. Like she'll be fine. He literally was like, she'll be
Yeah.
fine. She was not fine. She was not fine at all. There's
Nope.
even a giant snowman, like a big snowman, chilling in their yard, and he's like, I wonder who built it. And Mom's just like, that's nice, Max. Like,
yeah.
what? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
First
for
time,
real.
I honestly thought the snowmen were going to do something. They really don't. I thought that was going to play more of a part in this. It's actually literally every
Agreed.
other Christmas symbolism except a snowman that does something
For
in this
real.
movie. So Beth starts making her way to Derek's. This is when I'm watching the film first time. Up until this point, it's pretty traditional Christmas, right? Like bickering family, trying to make it work on the holidays. This is where it kind of turns like horror. The horror like turns on, and I remember kind of being like, "Oh man, this actually like this could get really cool." And then it goes,
Same
then it
here.
kind of like it rides the wave the rest of the movie of like cool and intense, and like I was really into it, and then like it gets into like some zany shit that kind of takes me out of the movie. We're not far from that. We'll cover that soon. Beth we get our first pick, like Beth sees the Krampus creature. I thought this was awesome. The
Me
way
too.
he's like on the
Yeah.
roofs and shit, like hopping around, I would shit myself.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
that was like one of the coolest aspects of when you get like a PG-13 title, that a lot of things are gonna kind of get like dampened and not it's not gonna be as amped up. Some of the stuff in this thing was pretty amped, and I liked
Dude.
it. Like him jumping from rooftop to rooftop was awesome.
That was cool.
His movement was really cool. Him being kind of like a husky goat, like that was pretty like
Yeah.
awesome. But I don't. So he's hopping from roof to roof to roof. Is he just watching the entire time and having his minions do it, or does he do things too? Because like I couldn't tell if he's actually doing stuff or if it's just he's sending his minions.
It looked like at this point, several houses on the way were already like
hit.
not abandoned, right? Like that's the wrong word. Like fucked up. They were people-less. There's no bodies, no lights on, nothing, no signs of life. And I don't know if he was like doing something. It looked like he was maybe just watching her, because he kind of keeps to that like creepy ass silhouette the whole time. Just like roof hopping. And then I think he sees her, or maybe she realizes that he sees her or something, and then that's when she starts. Does she run deeper into the neighborhood, or does she try to run back? Because my thing was like, why not just run back home?
I think
Like,
she
why
starts running further down the street because she
idiot?
comes up to
Did she
the
get to Derek's house?
She doubles back barely
Okay,
to the delivery guy that we saw earlier because she
who
hides
was
under his car.
who was frozen.
Yeah,
dumb idea.
which
Yeah.
dude, right? Come on, like just fucking go for it. Just sprint all the way home.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Hiding under the car. Also, I'd be like, "Ooh, snow." Like my wussy ass would be like, "Nope." Like
Not
I wasn't dressed for this. In fact, nobody dresses. Anybody who goes into that storm, nobody dresses how they should. Like I'd have had my ski mask on. I'd have absolutely looked like a robber on my way to Derek's trying to bundle up.
The
Just
least amount of layers I've seen.
100. Yeah, she's like, I
Yeah.
still got to be cute though. So she bears like bare minimum, like layering. So she gets fucked up under this van. I almost called him Santa. Krampus drops a Jack in the Box type toy
Like a Jack in the Box. Yeah.
that and her death is off screen, like, or hidden or whatever. But we lose Beth. Back home, the parents are also very chill with. They give her 1 hour, by the way, so they're like, "See you in an hour." 4 blocks through that snow would take half the journey, so she would literally just get to Derek's and be like, "Just making sure you're alive," and then she'd have to double back already. Like, there would be no hangout time there, and especially if she's going to go smoke or whatever. She's just looking for a jaybreak or whatever, according to her Skype the night before. So the parents are like super lax. Yeah, right. Getting elevated. Parents are super lax at home. They're just kind of like, oh man, it's been a long time, and it's literally like dark out, and they're like, I wonder will she like make it home? Come on, that's another thing. Like Max got beat. Like we would have got beat the night before if we acted like Max. We would have got beat when we got back if we were Beth for getting home, spending a whole day gone. Like that'd have been beating round 2 for both of us.
So the men decide to go after her, right? Or Adam Scott, and then David Keck. Oh, he enlists. David Keckner has a Hummer. Was that what it was? Like a H Hummer or something like that. And he's like, "Can this thing get through this stuff out there?" And then what does he say? He's like, "This thing could get to.
I could get through the beaches of Normandy."
Yeah, I could point.
I could head due east and arrive at the beaches of Normandy at morning or whatever. Yeah, that's funny.
It was awesome. There's a couple lines in here, especially from him that he sells.
No, I agree. When I said earlier, I was like, "Oh man, with David Keckner, you kind of get David Keckner," and like, I only don't like that because he's the same in every movie. But on that aspect, a lot of these movies he's really funny in, and like I think like one you just said, he does have some funny one-liners like that. That line about going that Humber could take him to Normandy or whatever, But they load up, they make it as far as the delivery truck, right? Because he's in the middle of the road.
They catch up to the snowplow. Yeah.
No, it is the snowplow. You're right, snowplow.
No, yeah, you're right.
I think they see the snowplow. They stop. They go check it out, and they when they get up to it, there's presents in the seat. The keys are in the ignition, but there's no body. And so he's like, well, fuck this, we're gonna go get my gun. Yeah, so he goes, like he was snatched out or something. So basically he goes back to his trunk of his Hummer, pops that baby open, whips out his shotgun, gets a handgun, gives it to Adam Scott, and he's like, all right, here, take this. We gotta go, we're gonna go protect your go find your daughter, protect ourselves, things like that. And so they get the guns, they get to the boyfriend's house, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's kind of like what you were saying, like where it's like ransacked or something. There's no bodies, but it's been like it's kind of open. There's snow and shit inside. Everything's a mess.
It's seen
They're
some shit.
looking for, yeah,
For sure.
something went down there, and they're, but they don't know what. And I thought it was kind of funny, but it was a weird little prelude to when one of them walks into the kitchen and they find a gingerbread man fucking stabbed to the fridge.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, "Oh, whoever did this is a sick son of a bitch." And you're kind of just like sitting there thinking about it, like, "Oh yeah, that is kind of weird." But then like later on, it makes sense. You're like, "Oh, okay, that's why it was stabbed to the fridge." Um, but so they don't find him,
No, they
or
start to head.
they don't find anybody,
Yeah, they
and
start to
so
head back, and then that thing under the snow gets David Keckner's leg.
well, he
Is
hears
that what
he
this
hears
is?
Beth screaming outside, and
Yeah,
then they run
crawling
out,
out.
right? And so
Okay.
they get out there, yeah, because apparently these things can mimic. And so they get them out there, and he's like looking, like yelling through the storm. Which, by the way, I don't think you'd be able to hear or anything through any of it, through the wind and shit. And Adam Scott's like, pushing through the snow, and then about that time, yeah, dude with the shotgun, David Kushner or whatever, or what's his name, David
Keckner, Cockner, something
Keckner.
like that.
Yeah, sorry, David Keckner. He actually gets attacked and starts getting like mauled, and like has the Jaws thing going on where it's like whipping him around in the snow.
For real.
And so he starts to get sucked under. And then that's when Adam Scott grabs him, pulls him out a little bit, and then whips out the hand cannon and pops off a few rounds. And that thing scurries off like a graboid. And next
What
thing
is,
you
real
know,
quick, what is the Bugs Bunny esque creature doing? Like, what is that creature? Do we know what that creature is? That Krampus, or is that another minion?
I couldn't tell if
Or
it was
we
that or
never
like
seen it
one of the like toys or something, because it's a weird thing. Because
because it shows up later too. It happens to
yeah,
all the adults. I think most of the adults get killed that way.
Yeah, maybe. I meant to Google it, like to see if like the director had said something, but like, I didn't put this in the movie, but in this interview I said it was this, and I forgot to look it up. But yeah, it is a weird, what'd you say, Bugs Bunny? How it, like
yeah,
Yeah,
leaves
the way it's
like the
tunneling.
trail above the surface, and
yeah.
yeah, very. That's probably one of the creepiest things in the movie because you can't fucking see it, and you're not safe walking, and unfortunately, us
Maybe
humans can't fly. So
maybe it's the elves, but I don't know why they'd be under the snow.
but yeah, what they make it back to the house,
They
and
get back
like
to the house,
they're
and
not freaking out as much as they should. And
well,
then, like, they're not
they
even
start
telling the
to.
family what's happening. Like, they're just like, I think Omi's like, keep the fire lit or like whatever. And like, that's their only thing. And so they also just start, like huddling up in the living room. Like, we're prepared for till the weather gets back, guys.
Well, when they
And
first get back, they kind of start like being loud about it, and then Adam Scott like kind of like sees the kids, and he's like, "Hey, man, like keep it down. Like we gotta like you're gonna freak people out. You gotta freak the kids out. We can't do that. Like so, just kind of shut up about it." So that's when he's like, nothing happened out there. Nothing at all. A bear trap in the snow, or whatever." And dude's like, "We don't have
that's
bears." And
right.
he's just like, "Well, whatever." And then that's when they're like, "Kids, you're hungry, right? Go in the kitchen, eat something." They're like trying to get the kids to kind of like figure things out, but it's they kind of like they do acknowledge the fact that like some weird shit's going on, but they're trying to keep it in so they don't freak out the kids or the rest of the family. But they start to heal up what's his face's leg, which is like mauled by whatever the hell the Bugs Bunny under the snow eating it. But it definitely they definitely after the shit going down, yeah, they definitely try to like come up with a better game plan, but they don't do it right away. They kind of like have some like heart to hearts with like certain characters and stuff. Like I think Adam Scott's like finally gets the recognition of being a man and like
Yeah.
being awesome. Same thing with like who was it? The I thought it
The
was it the
the
sister
sis
and
the mom and the moms, they this didn't make sense either. So they're looking at the tree, they're having like their moment, and she's like, "Oh, you kept the angel tree topper or something?" And she's like, "Or you've had whatever it is this whole time?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "But if you guys do this every year, wouldn't you have known that years ago? That
I thought
like if
that
you had
too.
seen if you had seen the Christmas, unless this is the first year she pulled it out, had a different tree topper. But I was like, haven't you guys done this every year? Surely you would have been like, hey, that angel. Like that would have been dialogue from like years ago. But
For
they
real.
get a little bit of like closure, like, oh, that's what mom would have wanted. I kept all these artifacts and shit hanging on the tree. It's a lot like what our parents did. Like every old school art and craft like made its way onto the tree for it to be embarrassed by later. The
Yeah.
the men start having so it's exactly what you said, where Howard's like, hey man, I really appreciate you saving my ass. Sorry, I thought you were a spineless dick this whole time.
Yeah.
Scott's like,
Yeah, yeah.
thanks, man. They choose to board up the house, which I think is kind of premature. Like they have no idea what's going on. They acknowledge the threat and they've seen some shit, but I was like, oh, they're going straight to boarding up the house, Nazi zombie style. Okay, they suck at
Yeah.
boarding up the house. By the way, that hack job was like like I was like, this actually sucks for boarding up the house. I could do a better job. I guess that house would have had a lot of windows, so I guess they only do the ground floor because we literally never acknowledge that they have a second story. Pisses me off.
Well,
Uh,
is it real quick? Is it when the two men are out looking for Beth that literally everyone in the house hears shit going on upstairs or whatever on the roof, and they're like, "It's probably squirrels," and then someone's
squirrels.
like, "Squirrels in this weather?" I think it's maybe the Aunt Dorothy or whatever. She's like, "Squirrels in this weather," and it's and then I think you hear like a big loud boom or something, and they're all just
Dude,
like,
there's some
100%.
"Oh,
shit going
glad
on
it
up there.
stopped."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You guys didn't fucking hear that? Like, there's things in your house now. Like, that's not roof scurrying. That's like the ceiling, the floor above you. Like, come on, guys."
This
But no one goes
irritated
to
me
check it out.
because it's exactly what you said, right? So it's a two-story house. They're hearing stuff what would clearly be on the second floor, and they're just like, it's on the roof. You wouldn't even hear anything on the roof if you're on the ground
I
floor like
know,
that.
yeah.
Like this part, the other part, like that part just irritated the shit out of me. I was like, get the fuck up there and start looking around, guys. Like, take a little initiative. I don't want to hear that it's cold. Like, come on, like figure it out. So that you're right though. They do have that part of where the ants gotta like throw out some one-liners before she go makes her snaps or whatever. And
Yeah.
Dorothy basically becomes like the baby caretaker, which like good on her. My kids would not be that quiet in any sort of setting. Like it would have been absolute hell at our house trying to figure that out.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is the night Howie Jr. gets taken, right? David
Yeah.
Keckner decides
They,
they're like, we need to keep watch. And David Keckner's like, I'll keep first watch. And anyone who's ever seen any movie ever where they drop the line, I'll keep first watch, they usually fall asleep, almost guaranteed. So he
Shepherd's
does.
got to protect his flock. Is the
Yeah,
repeated line. Yeah.
except the shepherd falls asleep. And
Yeah.
that night, the fire gets low enough, and you see a chain drop with a gingerbread man. It's like a gutting hook, right? There's like a gutting hook at the end of a chain with like the gingerbread man on top, and of course, it entices Howie, or Howie Jr., the one that I think Nick, you said he's just like eating the whole movie and doesn't talk. Like literally every scene he's in is just eating something. Gets distracted. Dude, this gingerbread man, and I instantly thought of like Shrek, right? The little gingerbread man just like going on, like doing his thing. Just like he like hog ties Howie Jr. or like chains him up, starts. Is it other gingerbread men taking him up the chimney? What's pulling him up? Because Tony Collette, when she's asked about it, and I know I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, she never says, like, right?
I
But
don't know
like
that any of them
Howie Jr.'s
see what does it, but I assume it's just Krampus and his minions.
okay.
Yeah.
But Howie Jr.'s getting pulled up, and it's like the whole like a comedic cartoon chain of people like attached to him pulling him out. Tony Collette's got him. I think both men have her legs.
No,
There might even be some.
Howard has him. Then Tony Collette has Howard, and then
Is that what it is?
Adam.
Okay,
Yeah, Adam and Scott, and somebody else has her legs.
maybe the mom, maybe the other mom, Linda, maybe Aunt Linda,
Yeah,
something like that.
something. But it
So it's
is
like a
like they're like
whole chain
looping
of
up
people.
the whole fucking fire. They easily go like 8 feet up the fire fire up the chimney.
And this is where I think a log gets knocked out, sets the Christmas tree on fire, which you said, Omi, the grandma's just kind of sitting there like, I don't really know what to do. Like,
He just tells Max
and
to get the fire extinguisher.
no one's doing shit. Max ain't doing shit. The twins ain't doing shit. The aunt nor Omi are doing anything. And all the other adults are sitting there on like some monkeys in a barrel chain up like halfway up the chimney.
Yeah.
They finally, like Howie Jr. gets taken, which like, like, wow, okay. So like, and I think I've talked about this before. Kids in horror movies actually getting killed. I'm kind of like, oh wow, we went there. Like your first two kills in this movie are kids. Like, and I know one's kind of high school age, which I said like, yeah, whatever. We see them die all the time. Like Howie Jr. is 11, 10, 9. I don't know, like younger than the twins maybe. And so I was like, okay, like this is cool. Like this is because I don't know. It, I just thought it was cool.
When you say getting killed, I wasn't actually sure that anybody was dying until at this point.
I was gonna
Well,
say
okay, maybe.
I wouldn't even say the whole movie. I mean, besides like the weird bystanders, like the snowplow guy and like the FedEx dude or whatever. I don't think anybody really dies. I think they're just being captured. I think they're
So
being
Krampus just
taken
takes everyone down into like his little fire pit of hell and keeps them there. Like I assume
I mean,
you're
at
dead.
the very end, everybody's in a fucking snow globe. It looks like he's in
That
like a house full of snow globes. Which I mean, we'll get to, but like I always took it like
Hmm.
nobody. This is a movie where nobody's dying. People are getting mauled, but I don't think people are dying.
maybe.
Yeah, it
I
was.
couldn't.
don't
I
know.
couldn't see it as a kill count.
I couldn't tell with
Kind of
Okay,
Beth.
thing.
You hear
that's
like
all
a
right.
lot of like noises as it pans bird's eye over the band, and you could tell like she's struggling. But Howie's was another like ambiguous, like just gets pulled up. You don't hear like bones crunching or squelching or like
Yeah, no
blood falling
blood
down
coming out.
on
Nothing.
his
For
Yeah.
dad or
sure.
anything.
And
The
this is
gingerbread man is actually the very first part of the film that I was like, what the fuck? Like,
oh
I wanted it to commit to being horror or or something, I guess. Like as soon as he comes to life, I was like, what the fuck, man? Like that's the zany bit that I mentioned earlier that I was like, yeah, so this is the load of my problems are like bottled in the looniness of some of the toys and stuff. Like the Jack in the Box, whatever, the big thing that eats the twin girls, that is kind of scary.
dude.
The weird little angel thing that like attacks Tony Collette, like that's cool. It looks like something from Resident Evil 8. Um, but the gingerbread man just rode like it literally looked like the fucking like what's that B movie? Like Ginger Dead Man? Like it looked like something out of that.
Yeah.
And I just had a hard time like, what the fuck, dude? So that part, like they were kind of cool. They're like their trio battle with David here coming up, David Koechner, Howard, like in the kitchen and stuff. Like I don't know, it's whatever. But this is the part of the movie where I was like, I wish you had just committed one way or the other about what you want to do with this film. I mean,
That's
did
true, I
you
guess.
like?
Fair
Are you?
point.
Do you? I mean, the gingerbread men rank really low out of the creatures on this film. Bottom of the poll for me.
I'll give you that. They're definitely the bottom of the creatures that we see in this movie. I didn't hate it though. Like I was like, okay, gingerbread man. Um, like I would have been. I was more pissed if we're talking about the baddies. I was more pissed that the snowmen weren't like sentient or like whatever.
Yeah, didn't do
Because I
anything.
was like, oh man, dude. Like every time he kept looking out the window, there's like more and more snowmen, and like I was kind of like, oh man, like that'd be kind of fucking scary, not knowing how these like creepy looking fucking snowmen are showing up. Because it's not like you're looking at Frosty, you know what I mean? Like these snowmen just look mean. They look scary. They
Yeah.
look like they're about to spring to life, and I was like, oh boy, like how do you take out a fucking snowman? You know what I mean? No heart, no brains. Like I don't know. Um,
Gotta melt it.
but it's immediately after this Howie Jr. gets taken that David Keckner, who was literally 5 minutes before this, like, hey man, I'm sorry that I thought you were a spineless dick this whole time. Once Howie Jr. gets taken, then he automatically flips the script and he's back to being like, nah, fuck you, man. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna look for my kid because a shepherd protects his flock. And it's like, you were just like, that guy wasn't acting like a dick when Beth got taken, and now your kid gets taken, and you're like, no, man, I'm going out there alone. And
With his
does
gimp leg.
he go
Yeah.
outside? He doesn't make it outside, does he?
No, they open the door and they see those things scurrying around the snowmen, the elves. They
Oh,
see the
that's
elves
right.
out there and they just like fucking say nope and close the door.
Bring him in, close the door, and then I think, where does it go from here? Does the family start splitting up?
So
Yeah.
this is where doesn't she isn't this where Granny tells the story before
Yes,
the
it's
before
gotta
the
be.
the twins or whatever go upstairs?
She tells the
So
story, and then Adam Scott starts working on a plan,
yeah,
like in
Okay.
the kitchen or whatever. Home
And I
Alone
know
again.
we kind of touched. I know we kind of touched on her story earlier. She was in what, some like World War II type, or like was it during World War II? Was this happening?
I
Some
mean,
or
eh,
like World War
I think
post
she'd be
World
a
War
lot
II?
older if that was the case.
Okay.
Um,
Either way, she's super
yeah,
old. Everyone in her town was grumpy and shit because it was a poor town, right? So like not enough. I think the animation, which was kind of cool because it was kind of reminiscent of those old like Christmas movies, which I was like,
I was
okay, that's
I was
kind
about
of
to
I'm
ask
fine with
what you guys
that.
thought of this, because the movie I
I'm fine with
didn't.
it.
This was kind of
I thought it was
it stuck out. Like, what an interesting
it's a
creative
creative
choice.
touch
To Yeah, it was kind of cool.
like
It's kind of like it gave me like kind of Tim Burton vibes, but also kind of like the Deathly Hallow animated bit, like also kind of like
for
that
sure.
vibe. What'd you guys think of that?
I think the dude just had and I don't know that he ever said in an interview or anything, but I think he just had like a showing that homage to those old, what are they, like Rankin Bass. Santa Claus is coming to town, Jack Frost, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all those claymation ones, and I think Frosty the Snowman was actually like,
is a 2D cartoon. Yeah,
yeah, like 2D, not just like claymation or whatever. But I thought it was cool to like have her story told kind of in that manner. I thought it was a cool creative touch. Um,
yeah, I really liked it. I actually I didn't make the connection with the old actual like Christmas movies. I was just thinking like a general like, oh, claymation, something like kind of animation style. But yeah, now that you mention it, that does make sense. It it's a good like animation. It's a good animation. Sorry, it's just a kind of very somber like
for
story.
real.
It's kind of
Yeah.
sad, and even for a Christmas story. And this, yeah, you find out that this is when uh grandma's Christmas spirit gets broken, and that's when Krampus comes and takes her family, which I'll come back to again at the end because I have questions.
I do too.
So
Same.
she's telling the story, and then immediately right after, what's his face? It's just like, oh, this fucking fantasy bullshit. Like he gets, it's like, oh,
Right.
like it gets real. Like, no, this can't be real. This ain't happening. Like, kind of like mentality of himself, and so the kids go upstairs because they have to use the bathroom because apparently Aunt Dorothy clogged the one downstairs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Which I didn't understand. I was just like, oh, that's just kind of random, but all right. Um,
Would the water still work? I mean, wouldn't
I was
I don't
gonna
even
ask this
know.
too. Nobody
Like,
can just plunk that shit. Like, what the fuck?
like would electricity being out that wouldn't stop your water, would it? Like I don't.
no, it wouldn't stop your
Unless you
water,
got an
but the
Yeah.
electric
weather would
toilet.
definitely freeze your pipes.
So
Like,
Yeah.
it literally was just clogged that they could have just like plunged it and like, whatever. But fuck, just scoop it out
yeah,
and toss it outside. Fuck, I don't know, whatever. That go on. Either way, they're going upstairs like idiots, right?
yeah.
So
Well, they're trying to find the bathroom upstairs, and then that's when they start hearing. I think it's Beth's voice in the attic,
yeah,
Yeah.
and so about that time they go upstairs because it's like, come here, I got something to show you guys. And of course, like dummies, they're like, oh, it's my cousin, and they
they are
like go
they
upstairs.
are fucking stupid during this moment. Like
Dude,
they are some stupid fucking kids.
there's
Like
some weird shit going on, and instead of acknowledging it like a normal freaking like kid, they're just making the dumbest decisions. And
Beth,
so
where have you been? We've been looking for you for like 24 hours. You've just been up here the whole time. I was like, you guys are idiots. Like,
yeah,
you
yeah, it
know,
was bad.
why would you not holler down to the adults and be like, hey, apparently Beth's up here. Maybe I should have some company. Whatever. I'm gonna fucking
First off,
idiot kids.
unless I see this person, I don't care if I hear their voice or not. I don't care how much of that they sound like. I am not walking near it.
Yeah, for real.
So that whatever's up in that attic can get fucked. I'm not going near it. But I definitely would.
Yeah,
I
no doubt.
definitely would let the adults know at least. But no, these two dummies just go upstairs and then they start to scream. And then is that when they all start to like go upstairs? And that's when Adam Scott like stops and he's like, "Hey, Shepherd stays with the fucking flock." And he like keeps them there. So he's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
okay." So he stays down there with I guess the remainder of the kids and Aunt Dorothy.
Yes.
and they go upstairs. Adam Scott, Tony Collette, and the
Linda.
other sister-in-law. Yeah,
Aunt
so
Linda.
three
Linda.
of them, right? It's nobody
Yeah.
else, like none of the kids or anything. They go up there to find them. At the same time, they hear what's his face? God, I can't remember his name for the life of me.
David
Dan,
Koechner?
yeah, David Koechner.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah, Howard. Okay, so Howard hears something in the kitchen. Howard's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go check that out." And this is when he has his run-in with the gingerbread man,
Killer gingerbread man, yeah.
which
Yeah, what
is
the fuck?
again like kind of like so. What Nick was saying, I get. Like, I don't like. I was on board for it being like creepy and shit. Like, so far everything's up to good until you get the gingerbread man, and I think like the toys, and that's when I was like, I'm not really like digging it. But even the toys were like weird. What are they're almost like Nightmare Before Christmas, like like monster,
Ooh,
like how like Halloween Town made Christmas presents.
for
They're
sure,
weird.
yeah. Like the clown with the tearaway face could have like made that like killer robot that
Yeah,
like attacks Adam Scott or whatever, you know, or like the even almost puppet mastery, you know, like there's like the one
kind of.
puppet
Yeah.
master had like with the knife pans, one's got like a drill head, like Adam Scott's got like a killer robot on his back, like stabbing him with something or whatever. Um, but like, dude, let's give it up for like that big fucking Jack in the Box thing.
That thing was
Holy shit!
creepy,
Yeah,
creepy
I
as
Holy
agree.
shit.
shit! It had like a blade too, like vampire mouth, where like the bottom like splits, you know, and just like rows of teeth. I was like, holy shit! Like I would have pissed my pants seeing that thing. I might have just
Well,
been like, well, take the kids, we're fine. Let's go back downstairs. Fuck it.
they
So by the time,
also
yeah, so
they walk in
go
on
on,
it actually eating or like
devouring.
swallowing one of the kids, which
Ugh.
to me I'd have been like, the parent in me would be like, oh, I guess I'm going in, but like if it's not my kid, I'd be like, it's all you. Yeah, I'll take one of
For
the
real.
smaller creatures. Give me the little robot. I'll take him. That is one of the because it's like a split jaw porcelain face. It kind of gave me Resident
It's
Evil
creepy.
vibe along with the little
Very.
angel thing. They all kind of split up and take on or get ambushed by a creature each. So Linda has to go save her. I'm going to call them twins. I don't know if they're twins. They act like twins. Linda's got to go
They're
save the
supposed to be
twins
twins.
and manages to save one before it like sneaks off into a very like Batman worthy vent, big enough to stuff
Yeah.
his whole ass in there. Um,
For real.
Tony Collette has to go to war with like the Hell's Angel thing. And Adam Scott has to take on the fucking robot. I don't know which one I'm picking to take on, but it's probably gonna be the robot.
Oh yeah, that thing is tiny, easy to just
Yeah,
dismantle,
maybe.
I would think. But there's
Yeah.
also a giant teddy bear
Ooh, I forgot
Oh
about that.
yeah, forgot
with
about
like
that too.
the
Yeah, you're
claws
right.
and the razor teeth that attacks the sister-in-law or just the sister or whatever, and then she grabs an icicle and stabs it in the eye once she sees one of her kids because that doesn't a Jack in the Box have to like spit one up so it can go through the vent?
Is okay. I was gonna ask because I
Oh,
think I'm. I was gonna ask how one got spit out
I
before it
was
like
too.
slithered away into the vent. It looked way too big to fit in.
Good
But
call.
so
Yeah, it must like regurgitate her.
okay,
Yeah, pulled an anaconda, spat her out, and next thing you know, just like she sees her, she stabs that thing in the freaking eye with a ice pick, and then she runs over, grabs an axe, and just starts bing bang booming all the freaking monsters that
dude,
are attacking everybody, and then
that was
goes after
cool.
the Jack in the Box. Misses, it gets away, but then later on, they send Rosie the dog after it.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
Yeah.
guess the dog defeats it. I couldn't tell, but
you know,
Howard is in the kitchen, not faring much better though, right?
against gingerbread men. Yeah, for real.
He's wounded, give him a break.
Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
dude, yeah, he should have just blasted those things easy, but
yeah. Yeah. He kind of has a little run with him. He does kill all three, I believe.
Yeah,
Even though it took like twice as
shotguns
many shots
something.
as there are gingerbread men to like kill the gingerbread men. You know, like it was like 2 shots each, and it should have just been like a one hit, you know,
yeah,
thing or whatever. Um, but they all reconvene downstairs, and again, like they freak out at some moments, but they're all pretty fucking chill after these moments happen. Like, or I would still be like, I would still have fresh shit running down my leg because I'm so scared. Like,
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all pretty chill. They reconvene, and he's like, I just had to find out these gingerbread men, and I don't think they ever actually. Oh, he's like, what'd you see up there? And I think Linda's like, you don't want to know, and it's like, no, maybe tell him because shit's getting real right now. You know what I mean? Like, you're missing 3 kids. All the adults are now battle scarred, except maybe Linda. You know, and
Right.
is this where they decide they're like, we're gonna head to the snowplow or whatever? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Their plan is to get to the snowplow, but it doesn't go. It doesn't go very far because I think that's about the time the Jack in the Box falls down. The elves come through the windows.
Yeah.
They snatch up Aunt Dorothy.
Yep.
David
They take
Keckner
off.
gets taken out with the Jack
He
in the
hitches
Box
a
going out
ride.
the
He
window,
hitches
right?
a ride on the Jack in the Box on the way out.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
And
right.
then that's when they're like, okay, now we have to go. And so after a couple of people get snatched up the house, they start heading out through the snow. And then that's when everybody, like you were saying, starts getting picked off one by one. And just kind of like sucked down through the
Omi
thing.
stays behind, right? The grandma
She
stays
stays
behind.
behind because apparently they hear Krampus like coming down through the roof finally.
She's about to confront him.
So basically, yeah, she's about to confront him. So, and this is where we actually get our first good look at Krampus is when she, faces him or whatever. And the design's creepy. I like it, but there's like the dude's just catching flies with that mouth of his just being open the entire time. Like I noticed that and I was just like, why is his mouth open the whole fucking time? The whole movie's just his mouth's open.
Is it a
And
mask?
I think it's a mask or it's some kind of it's static because it's not moving. And
Like
but
the
the tongue comes out.
the Krampus creature is wearing like some disfigured Santa mask. Is
I
that
don't
what's
think
happening in
no,
the
I
movie?
think that is his face. I think that's the
No.
demonic face that it is because he has
No.
goat eyes, right?
Well, so one of the tidbits I was going to mention here that I read about is there's Krampus is wearing a mask. Michael
And
Dougherty.
that's like the Santa. That's the Santa like mask that you see the whole movie.
Yeah, but he's wearing a mask, and Michael Dougherty won't say who the mask's face is supposed to be. So it's like up for interpretation. But I'm guessing there's like I'm guessing it's supposed to be something, and maybe it's supposed to be something. Like how like Game of Thrones got in trouble for like having like George Bush's head on a pike in season 1, like one of the pikes. There's like a George Bush face.
Yeah.
They don't like focus on it, but it's in a shot. People noticed it, and then like they got in some trouble. I kind of took it as like maybe he based it off of like something. Think like Lord of the Rings, right? There's like that orc that they say is supposed to be like Harvey Weinstein, but they don't like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe
Gotham or whatever.
I could be reaching, but it's literally like he won't say who the porcelain face is like based off of. So make of that what you will, but yeah, the creature is wearing a mask.
So it is a mask. Okay,
it is a mask. Because you can see he's got like you can see his eyes like Michael Myers behind him.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just his actual face, and he was just static. That was like a production issue, but I guess I'm just an idiot. Well, the goat eyes are really cool. Like the whole goat appearance, I really like. I like that kind of shit. But he's got like long.
Ditch the mask. I'd rather we've already seen hooves, some bitchin' antlers, dude. Let's just fucking see this creature's face, man. Like fuck the mask.
I wish we would have.
That would have been like a fitting. I thought maybe it would be a third act reveal, but we don't.
I thought Max was gonna like smack him in the face. Yeah, we'll whack him in the face with that stick of his, but no, he just tosses it down like a lummox.
So they're heading to the snowplow, right?
Yep. Everybody's getting snatched up, and then I think by the time they get to the snowplow, they got mom, aunt, and then one of the twins and Max.
And the dad. And Adam
the
Scott.
dad. Well, the dad, Adam Scott, yeah. Adam Scott like gets there and then he's like, go, go, go. I'll like hold them or whatever. Gets snatched up. They get to the truck. The aunt gets it first, then mom, because she's like, oh, I love you, and they get sucked down through the snow, and then it's the kid, and they try to start the car, and it doesn't work, and then that's when the elves take one of the twins, the cousin.
Just think that twin that was at the end there that just got taken by the elves. So you already got fucking swallowed by a Jack in the Box monster. You get regurgitated, and you're like, "Pah, that's probably the worst of it." And then
Yeah,
you get fucking taken by like the dark elves from Thor 2, like jacking them out the window. Like,
yeah. Bunch
and
of
again, we don't.
Jawas just taking you away.
Yeah, we don't know if they're getting killed or if they're just being kidnapped. But either way, this is where
Max
Krampus shows
goes
up,
to
right?
chase after her, yeah, and Krampus just like lands right in front of him, and it's just like, well, I'm here for your wish, kid. And
He
is this
gives
where
the
he gives
kid
him the bell?
He gives him the little bell that I guess is like he just gives his little like survivors as like a token of like, yeah, bet you won't be fucking naked around the holidays now, asshole. Like, look at this
Yeah,
and you'll always remember. But
right.
he gives him that. And so this is where I was like, oh man, because I love when a movie doesn't have a happy ending, right? Happy endings happen in 99.9% of Hollywood films. I love that 0.1% where it doesn't because that could be real life. Not everything has a happy ending. And we don't need to see a happy ending. Not everyone has to leave the theater in like a feel good, but it's a Christmas movie. So of course it doesn't end here like I wanted it to. Max confronts Krampus, right? Him and his like sleigh pulled by whatever the fuck they're being pulled, him and all those elves, and they've got like the giant crater to like hell that's like opened up. And what does Max do here? Does he just say like I take back my wish, or does he like call Krampus a name or something? He does something, right? Like, and then
Well, yeah. First he calls him an asshole.
oh
and
yeah,
then
hey,
and then
asshole.
yeah, and then that's when he's like, "Oh yeah," opens up the pits to hell. And then he gets ready to toss his cousin in, and he's like, "Wait, wait, wait." He's like, "I take back my wish." He's like, I want my family back." And then Krampus is just like, the kid's crying. Krampus is like, "Oh, this poor little dude. Look, he's crying." And they all have a good chuckle at it because they're just like, they think that shit's hilarious. And then they push her in. She
He's like,
falls.
it's like eat shit, kid. Like
Yeah.
tosses him down into that
And then, yeah. And
into
then
that
he grabs
hole.
the kid. Yeah. Fucking throws him in. Uh, Kid wakes up and
Lame,
it's a bright, snowy day. And he goes
it's
and checks the
Christmas Day,
window.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Now it's Christmas Day.
Continue to the end of the movie because I'm going to come back to this point here in a minute. But go on.
So right before Krampus tosses him in, he's like, I just want things to be the way they were. And so when he wakes up and from his sleep or whatever, he's experiencing what it was before, everything he wanted. Like he's like, everybody's happy, looks like Christmas, everybody's in a good spirit, everything's going good. And then he gets a gift and he opens it up. And as soon as he opens it up, he sees it. It's the Krampus bell. And then that's when like him and everybody else start to focus on it and then basically like start to recollect that, oh shit, everything we just experienced was real. So it ends really quickly after this. Like everybody kind of comes to the acknowledgement to like what happened during the
Mhm.
event and that they happened. And then it pans out of the house. And as soon as it gets out of the house, you find out that they're in a snow globe
That's cool.
and they're trapped in a snow globe. And they're trapped in a giant house full of snow globes because that's what Krampus does when he snatches you up. He takes you, puts you in a snow globe, and then puts you on a shelf.
Was but like they don't know they're in a snow globe, right? Like they
I
could walk
mean,
outside and still go to the neighbors in the town and like go wherever they want in the world.
That's
Is
how
a
I
snow
took it.
globe just like the
I
snowball?
almost,
It's just like a crystal ball seeing glass thing. I don't know that it's like actually like, hey, for us to learn our lesson, we're like trapped in this fucking snow globe thing. Like I thought it was just like a bunch of little seeing balls he could just kind of like peer in on that family and be like, they still believing in me. Okay, all right, good. Like,
I
but in
think
it,
it, I think
yeah,
he's
go on.
punishing them the more though. I think they're isolated to the house, if anything, just because like he's able to look up and down the street, sure, but it's magic. And Krampus's whole like code is to like punish people who don't believe in Christmas or people who were like ill will during the festive season. And
Hmm.
every one of those guys have kind of fit that bill. And so I almost going back to Omni's parents or Omni's family. Like, so when they get snatched up, I'm assuming their ass is in a snow globe too somewhere. She just didn't get pulled up with one because she kept the belt and then kind of fucked off and continued life, as opposed to confronting him.
Well, like, what the fuck did she do after everyone has disappeared? Did she just walk to the next town and just like keep living her like 7-year-old life? She never says like, yeah, after that I had to like rebuild and like whatever. No, it literally her story ended. They got taken and that was it. This woman is, I don't know, 70, and it's like, what the fuck happened the last like 63 years? How did you get from kid to like meeting who would be your husband? Have you never told this story to your kid, Adam Scott? Like, he's hearing this for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of like, wait, what? A lot of holes to fill here. You know what I mean?
I I agree. I had all those same complaints and questions um, about the ending here. So according to IMDb here, it says the movie's ambiguous ending has spawned two fan theories. One, that the Angles, which is the Adam Scott's family, and their family are
Right.
trapped in the snow globe, condemned to repeat Christmas morning for eternity in a twisted version of hell. Or two,
Ooh.
that they were given a second chance and the snow globe is Krampus's means of watching over them. Um, Writer-director Michael Dougherty has refused to confirm which theory is true. The tie-in comic, Shadow of St. Nicholas, confirms that the happy ending is true. The comic has murdered characters resurrected without any hint of a twist, showing that Krampus is willing to give people a second chance as long as they prove they've learned their lesson. Unlike his grandmother, Max was brave enough to confront Krampus and prove he'd learned his lesson, which was why Max had his family return and the grandmothers didn't. Um, Doherty says that that conclusion is a bit cynical, but is possible. I
Hmm.
took it as it was a happy ending, but it felt fake because of like the weird aura around everything. You know what I mean? Like it like
Yeah, everybody kind of like, yeah.
so. Yeah, I'm glad you guys brought this up because I too was kind of curious what you guys thought. I just took it as they were being watched and not being trapped. Um, but either way, that's it is what it is.
Even if it is to spend the Christmas day over and over and over for eternity, that doesn't sound like a terrible fucking day. I mean, you get the same gift, I guess, but
Yeah, they all got along there in the end.
you're
It's not
not.
like they're fighting anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
Doesn't sound like a
I
terrible though.
I guess I also thought it was a happy ending just because it is like almost first and foremost a Christmas movie, right? So like I said, I couldn't get my fucking wish where it would just end it on a bad note. Like now Max has to be oh me and just like, oh no, everyone's like disappeared in my life and I'm stuck remembering like this like shitty Christmas and maybe I'll do better, you know? But like it is a Christmas movie. But like on if it's gonna be a happy ending like that, you should have had Max see the bell and only him recognize what it is, right? Because then he could be the only one. Kind of like Hugh Jackman's the only one in Days of Future Past that like remembers like both or whatever, because it happened to him. Like he's the one that experienced both. So I thought, well, if the whole family's sitting there looking at each other like, oh shit, it's that bell thing, then it's too ambiguous almost. Did it happen? Is it not? Like, I don't know. It's
I think it also just goes to show that like they were also terrible Christmas people too, and they basically were like, "Oh shit, well maybe I better straighten up too."
sure.
But yeah, the ending was, I thought, kind of one of the weaker parts of it, to be honest. I thought it could end it a little better, but like whether it was happy or not happy, I definitely I definitely enjoyed most of it. But there were some parts, man, that were kind of iffy. Like the gingerbread man was just like kind of a stretch for me. Like some of that stuff was a little zany,
Sure.
but like there was a lot of really good creepy parts of it too. So
Yeah,
Uh,
there was some parts where I was genuinely kind of like, oh man, this would be like Krampus himself. It's a creepy looking motherfucker. That Jack in the Box, it's fucking creepy. Um, I
probably the two
can't
creepiest
say
things.
I can't say like the gingerbread men, I guess, would outright scare me, but they had like candy canes sharpened into like shanks and shit. Like that last one David Koechner kills, like where he's like backed into the corner and has to, like blow its head off. That thing is in like a 300 like spear dive with the candy cane ready to like shank in midair. You know what I mean? Like he is going for the kill and David Koechner has to like blow its face off. Um yeah, there's some scary stuff in there for sure. But gingerbread men are the weakest I think of the movie. That or the elves. I thought the elves were a little weird, a little lame looking.
Yeah, they don't do much but grab you.
Be it for real, yeah. Grab you, build snowmen, those spooky snowmen that don't do anything. Because that to me might be one of the most wasted potential parts of the movie. It's like, no snowmen? Seriously? Like, and I know they don't really relate to Santa directly, you know? Um, but like, they were creepy looking, and I really wanted to see them, like, do something. Or one even do something.
I thought we were gonna get some like Jack Frost, Killer Snowman type shit
For
out of
sure.
them too, because they're the first bit of weirdness you see. Like the one is right there.
Yeah.
The first, when Max spots it. Um, two of the gingerbread men are actually voiced by Seth Green and Justin Roiland, who is the
Rick and Morty?
Rick and
The
Morty,
Rick
yeah.
and Morty co-creator. Who, and it's I think we should note that has allegations against him of like abuse and domestic violence and stuff. So fuck that guy. I also don't care about I don't care. I don't give a shit about Rick and Morty. Never have. Don't give a fuck. I think he's also a creator that's so like think about all the shows that have the animation. So Solar Opposites. I think he had a voice on Adventure Time. Um, all of those shows that had animation is like kind of tied to him. So he voices one of
Sure.
these out, and this would have been before the allegations and stuff. I think those were around like 2020. So this would have been a few years. Seth Green, cool. Always finding himself with like niche voice work. So that's cool. I can respect that. The
For sure.
gingerbread men don't talk enough to like really like you wouldn't know that that's them,
No.
but it is cool. And another little tidbit of fun info. So Michael Dougherty is the writer director of Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat takes place in a fictional town of Warren Valley. And in a cut scene of Krampus, a scene that's cut, I guess over like a radio or something, they mention Warren Valley, which I thought would have been cool. Like
That's cool.
him kind of like finding ways to insert his projects and other projects. So I thought that was neat. I don't know why you didn't keep that in. That'd have been a like
That would
sweet
have been a
little like
pretty nice
tie-in.
tie-in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say because if anything, not so much like a crossover, but to connect, because then you have two folklores essentially coming after you for
two
not following the
seasonal
fucking rules
folklores.
of the holiday.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know.
maybe
That would have been
Trick or
cool.
Treat 2 will mention some of that stuff or something.
That'd be cool.
Go full
I'm
circle.
actually like, so I think we can all agree that like Trick or Treat's probably his best film. I mean, like when it comes to like I guess the horror department. Um, Definitely very solid. Like I love Trick or Treat when I first saw it. I think I saw a trailer for it at I believe on it was on the 300 DVD. And I remember seeing it and I was like, I want to check this out. And then it kind of got shelved for a while, if I'm not mistaken, and then
Did it,
eventually got released
did it
physically.
go to theaters? Trick or
I
treat?
think it was very limited, if anything.
That's right.
But it it was awesome. So I always kind of like kept a fine eye on the dude who made it. And, obviously Nick said King of the Monsters. I'm a big Godzilla fan, clearly, as you can see.
Right.
I freaking loved that movie. The movie was awesome. He did stellar with it too. So Krampus, I would definitely say he's kind of below those two. Um, Still had some good potential, had some good moments.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't hate the film by any means, but definitely definitely an all right movie, I guess, for Christmas, horror Christmas, for either or, I guess.
We'll take us home, man. How would you rate it?
I'd give it a 3 out of 5.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
I was thinking 2.5, but I was like, I'll give it a 3. There were some pretty scary moments.
Nick, what about you, man?
I I will also, so I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. The stuff that was like real horror, I was really into. Like there was a moment where I was like, maybe I was wrong about this. Like maybe this is gonna be like cool and creepy. And then it had those moments where I was like, motherfucker. I got tired of Aunt Dorothy's like, you know, unneeded, like she sucked. Like she wasn't a fun character. You kind of root for her to die. Or her get her shit.
Yeah.
Some of that zaniness there, but overall I went in with like kind of a dour attitude about it, but it did beat my expectations. So yeah, I'll give it 3 stars. It was kind of fun.
Nice.
I'm gonna bump it up a little bit from what you guys. I
Give
think
it a
I gave it a
5.
3.5 on what's that?
Ye-
Yeah, probably just an automatic 5 because it's horror. No, I'm gonna give it 3.5. Uh, I did find myself enjoying this film. Um, this was just a lot of fun, and I don't know that I had any like preconceptions going into the movie, but like I was kind of like, Christmas horror because YouTube probably definitely have me in the Christmas horror movie department. I've not seen any Black Christmas. I've not seen. I think there was one. Was there one called like Silent Night or something recently with
Yeah,
David
Silent
Harbour?
Night, Deadly. Well, that's Silent Night, Violent Night, and
Oh,
that's
whatever.
more of
Yeah.
like a, I wouldn't
Either
call it a
way,
horror movie, but yeah.
not. I haven't dove too much into Christmas horror. I usually don't mesh these two that much. I like my Christmas stuff festive. I like my horror stuff scary. But this was cool. This was fun. The creatures, most of them were definitely pretty wild. Awesome cast, some cool creepy moments, some funny one-liners. Um, this was just a fun movie. I was glad we've knocked this one out. I'm glad to say I've seen it. Um, so a three, 3.5, it's not bad. That makes it watchable. Uh, so people, if you're looking for something Christmas, but not, your typical like smile Christmas. I think this might be up your alley. It's PG-13. There's like no bloodshed. There's no hard cussing. Is there even one F word? I don't even know that it
No.
had
No F
Yeah, there
word.
was
one.
one.
There was
Oh,
one?
Yeah. Yeah, and Dorothy says it.
okay.
Oh, yeah,
Alright.
okay, I think you're right. So there's one F word. I don't think it's in like a super vulgar manner. I think the movie's maybe an hour and 40 minutes, something like that, hour 45. Uh, so not too long. This was a fun first watch. If you're looking to start into Christmas movies, this is the one for you. And stay with us. All through December, we got 4 movies coming for you. With the festive
The winner.
holidays. This was the first one, and this was a good one. Like we said, this was available on Peacock. But YouTube rented it, or is that how you did it?
Yeah. I
I
rented it
watched
on
it on
Apple.
Peacock.
Okay, so
It's
it is on
rentable
Peacock.
from a few platforms. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, so get out there. Don't be afraid to think outside the box office on this one and check this one out. I don't even know really if any super Christmas movies are coming to theaters. Um, but this is a good one to stay home and watch. So stay with us, and we can't wait to see you next time.